What's up, everybody? Sunday night is upon us at last, and corner to corner, bridging the gap in Civil War time. We're live on Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
You do spoilers, I'll kill you.
Beyond Ringside. What's that?
You do spoilers, I'll kill you.
I would never dream of it, good sir. Would never dream of it. Great movie, though. I hope you're getting it. What's that?
I said I'll spoil it. I'll spoil it for the damn world.
And this has been Corner to Corner on Sunday night. We'll see you later. Bye. I'm just kidding.
Dumbledore dies.
Oh, damn. I thought it was Scaramanga.
A cameo.
And that time we had a connection issue. Everybody broke up for a hot second.
Oh, good. Nobody heard me say something died.
That was Marvel's way of that was Marvel's way of shut up.
It was, wasn't it?
We're under attack. Iron Man did not approve this message.
Of course not.
I mean, Disney owns everything else in the world.
Well, that's true. Maybe Skype has finally fallen victim. So, folks, I hope everybody has had a great week. We things that took place on social media the past few days. We just recently saw, of course, Civil War. Eddie has not seen it yet, so we're going to be kind. Although I believe he's going to be attempting to make the journey to see it later this evening. Folks, it's the only triple threat here of Internet Radio. Myself, Stan Grubb, and my tag team partners, Rob Hefner.
What's up, people? What's up? We're back here live. Live? Did I say live? I said live. We're live.
And the doctor is again in the house. What's up, Brian Taylor? How you doing, sir?
How are y'all? Doing all right?
We're doing well, man. We're doing very well. So, right out of the gate, without doing spoilers, please, thoughts and opinions on Civil War. Brian, what'd you think of it, buddy?
Don't ask me, I'll spoil it. Don't. I'm not saying nothing.
All right, then. We'll ask Rob. Rob, what did you think of Civil War?
I had a short woman in front of me that kept pushing her feet on that damn rail, pushing back into my knees.
Kill.
Pissed me off. Oh, and the fact that...
yet again... Go ahead.
No, hey. The spoils of being a tall person and, and rude people at the theater, but hey.
Yeah, and yet again, there was another person in the audience asleep. I don't know if you guys heard it, but there was someone snoring behind us.
No, I didn't hear that.
They weren't snoring, they were sniffing your neck.
That explains the slobber. It was awkwardly wet on my neck.
And I don't know what his name was.
To get his number. Yet. Damn it. Drink.
You wait till we do corner to corner late night.
Oh, God help us. God help us all. I thought that the movie was really good. I like the writing. It was smart. It had humor. The conflict between Iron Man and Cap was done very well. You don't think so?
I think at this point we should
let's not give too much away. Let's just move on.
I don't want to do that.
I think we just need to move on, Stan.
So
right, fair enough. So let's be kind and not spoil. You're right.
Yeah, because not only is it the four of us here, but there's probably around 500 people listening right now, and I'll assume 2/3 of them have not seen the movie. So I don't think we need a call from Vincent Kennedy McMahon saying we wish you the best in your future endeavors.
Whoa, hold up. First off, why is there only 500? What the hell? Where are you people? Get out from under the rock. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, pull the laptops, the mobile devices, everything out. Damn it, it's time to start listening to Corner to Corner.
With the amount of money that we baked in, I don't think there's probably that many people that haven't seen it.
Yeah, I heard a number.
I was impressed with 500.
Somewhere. I mean, I like 500, but I would prefer to have 1,000.
Well, Alex Riley might have had a chance to watch it.
Base. Stan is not appreciative of anything, but Brian and I and Eddie would like to say we thank and love you all for listening to our radio show. Stan is just waiting for the bigger and better thing to come around.
You guys are so messed up. You would think that I would broom you to the wayside that quickly.
This is Corner to Corner with Rob and Brian, the dynamic duo of internet wrestling.
Damn! The Cape Crusaders are loose. Evil bastards. Evil bastards.
Really now?
Jeez. I mean, first off, okay. Here's the reality. A little peek behind the curtain here. They had to, throw water on me multiple times to wake me up from the drunken sleep that I was in from a previous show to get me to do Corner to Corner with them. And now they finally get me here and they don't want me anymore. I feel so used. So unloved.
It's okay. It's okay.
You're going to divorce me too, are you?
No, we never married you.
Thank God for that. That'd have been an awkward night of sleep.
But you are wearing a red shirt, so unfortunately...
first man out, first man dead.
He's dead,
okay,
Jim.
we need somebody for the away team. You there. Oh. Again?
That's a Star Trek reference for those who don't know. Not everybody understands the red shirt.
I apologize. Well, there's not really a lackey or a guy that gets killed right off the bat all the time in Star Wars, is there? Except for the Stormtroopers?
TIE fighter
they don't
pilots.
really count. I wouldn't say they count. Their foot.
Yeah, I don't think...
A red shirt is destined to die right from the start.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you are the first man dead. How's it feel? I don't know. I'm dead.
I would like to have that, though. Oh, man, I just got this part in Star Trek. Oh, what do you mean I got to wear a red shirt? That's a bunch of...
Gig. Red shirt, blue shirt, I don't care, man. Give me a shirt. Wait, what happens with the red shirt? Oh, come on.
No, then you go on the Comic-Con Star Trek circuit of, I was on episode 344, and I died at minute 15 seconds. My name was Ensign John.
All right, let's talk some wrestling.
This is a wrestling radio show. I mean, we are here on the Beyond Ringside family of networks.
That's right. The family of shows. It's a really good show here. Really big show. All right,
wasn't until you said that.
Hey, you don't like my Ed Sullivan reference? Do your own. Not that anybody's going to get the Ed Sullivan reference. Well, Eddie will, because he was there live.
Or not that it was an Ed Sullivan reference.
It wasn't.
Oh.
So, guys, we've got live going on this evening the Ring of Honor Global Wars pay-per-view. All right, have any of you had any of that just yet?
I don't know, but you keep breaking up.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
All I hear is, hey, have any...
I'm always glad to keep everybody in suspense. Well, dang it to heck.
Tell them you want a number one and get on going.
I'm here. I'm actually at my house. I promise. Damn it.
But anybody, if we had the opportunity to catch what?
Ring of Honor's pay-per-view that's airing actually as we speak.
No.
Brian, caught any results?
No, I'm not watching it because I'm here with you.
Well, see, now we know it's important. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad to have you.
Well, I will say that I just watched the two Lucha Underground shows from the last 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Wow. Their trios match with Rey Mysterio and his team taking it, that was an awesome match the week before. And then the female match this week with Mariposa and I just forgot her name. But it was amazing. I mean, first female match I've ever seen that actually had blood, and they went to the rafters and it came back down. It was awesome. Or as JR would have said, this is a menace. There's so much. God, somebody stop this thing. This is out of control. But it seems the Stan has disappeared. Apparently, issues or.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Get out of bed, you're sleepy.
Either Stan's having issues or his mom changed the Wi-Fi password and didn't tell him.
I think his mom changed the Wi-Fi password and didn't tell him.
Call the cops, Stan. She can't do that.
Actually, he did put something in production chat if you didn't see that. Shifting over for a second now, I made the joke a little earlier about Vince McMahon sending us the letter of future endeavors, or, best of luck in our future endeavors. Have y'all caught all of the releases that have occurred?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
that's, wow. That's a lot. Sandow.
Yeah, some of the names I was surprised got released, like Sandow, but then some I was actually surprised still worked there. Like El Torrio or whatever his name is.
El Torito.
I think it's El Trico. The Bull.
Yeah.
Fago. Was a good release. Didn't really need her anymore.
No, I mean, I think with any company, every once in a while you got to get rid of something, and when you're bringing people in, you got to let some people go. So it's kind of like the guy on the side of that's on the football team that's he hasn't dressed out the entire season, and then all of a sudden he reads in the paper that, oh, wait a minute, they've traded for somebody, or they signed this free agent. Ah, damn.
Do me a favor. Guys, do me a favor. I'm trying to get Stan back in real quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run a very quick promo for the network. Folks, bear with us. We're going to get everybody back in the system full scale, and Corner to Corner will resume in just a moment. Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Lane, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Wow, that was fun. Hope you all enjoyed our wonderful, wonderful technical difficulty there. The internet being what it is. We love you, Skype. Thank you. Don't kill us tonight, please. Jeez. Sorry, guys. It's nice to be back on the air and actually live. Can you hear me now?
It's all right. We called Stan's mom and made her give him the password to the Wi-Fi, so he's back.
It took some doing. I begged and I cried. It wasn't pretty.
He kissed $8 goodbye.
Please, Mom. Please. Please.
Man, she raised the price to $8.
Oh!
And a foot rub.
Oh, God.
But before we went, we were talking about the recent releases that WWE has. What are your feelings, Stan?
Probably the biggest shocker out of those releases was Damian Sandow. Wade Barrett, he was already on his way out. He had made his thoughts known with his release or not re-signing. Alex Riley was kind of a surprise, but only because he had improved while in NXT during this most recent run. Not necessarily because they had a role for him, because he wasn't really doing anything, but I felt he had improved. I had honestly forgotten that Hornswoggle and Santino were still on the roster. And unfortunately, I think for Cameron, I think it was just her time. I don't think there was really anything else she could do. I tell you what sucks the most about it, aside from Damian Sandow getting released, is Zeb Coulter. Because here's a manager that was very helpful for Jack Swagger, and in my opinion, very good on the microphone. You could really pair him with anyone you want. Even his work with Alberto wasn't too bad. It was a bit of a surprise that they let him go. I wonder what they're going to do next, as far as how they fare without him. I mean, who else could they possibly release at this point that won't have a lasting effect, except for Ryback? Because I think, and we'll get into that in a moment here as well.
Alberto Del Rio, Rusev. We talking? I thought we were talking about people to cut.
Well, I mean, would you really be able to let go of Alberto? Well, I think Alberto maybe right now, yes, but Rusev, who's the new number 1 contender for Kalisto's U.S. title.
And where'd that come from? I guess he's out of Vince's doghouse.
I guess so. I mean, he's suddenly getting that monster push feel that he had just before his feud with Cena, which, gosh, it's been over a year, I guess.
And did you notice that now that he's going to have a singles push, re-enter Lana? Like,
right.
She wasn't nowhere to be found, and then, boom, as soon as he wins, here she comes again. Because, truthfully, who do you want to see, Rusev or Lana?
I mean, if you're asking me, I think you know my answer. The Lonely Hearts Club says Lana.
So does your internet browser. But I'm sorry.
Oh, that's not nice. I mean, you know.
Those playing at home, that's drink number 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, Corner to Corner presents #shots.
Oh, we got to come up with a better hashtag than that.
Well, I figure I have shots. I mean, you know.
Hashtag be nice to Stan.
Corner to Cuervo.
I like that. Corner to Cuervo.
We are still celebrating Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, wait, then I got a better one. Corner to Corona.
Hey. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, there's 2 of them going through Birmingham nowadays.
So, was Sandow a surprise for you guys as far as the releases,
No.
or was it just another notch on the release belt for them, you think?
I think Sandow was the surprise for me, but you've seen it before where they release somebody, then they sign them back on. Because you think about it, you know, if you're in the wrestling business as a wrestler, where do you want to be? You know?
I mean, it's a tough call. My thought is how soon before TNA scoops up and they actually sign, say, Damian Sandow and maybe even Wade Barrett. How soon before Wade Barrett makes his debut at TNA or Ring of Honor?
Well, Barrett said he's going to take some time off, so I don't know his intentions.
I mean, if I was Dixie Carter, I would sign Damian Sandow. I think he'd fit in well in that roster, if you can pay him.
That's what I'm saying. The problem is, can she pay him?
I heard, and again, this is only speculation. I don't know if there's any truth to it, but there's a rumor going around that Triple H may.
Rumors.
Yeah, right. There's a rumor that Triple H may actually be assisting with funding TNA.
You haven't seen the latest results from Evolve Pro Wrestling, have you?
Actually, I did. And come on, I mean, that kind of a shoot theory, it's possible.
It's more than possible.
Yeah, I mean, and if that is indeed the case, that serves as a benefit for TNA if that's really going on.
Okay, let me ask the 3 of you this.
Well, before you begin, what happened at Evolve?
Let's see. Who all showed up from TNA? Stan?
So, Drew Galloway is
Right.
the Evolve champion, and he's also the TNA champion right now. That is Drew McIntyre, for those unaware.
Wasn't Galloway already there in Evolve?
Yes, when he was released, he went to Evolve first, and then was later signed by TNA.
Gotcha. Okay.
And now, Ethan Carter III,
Thank you.
EC3. You talk about a homegrown star talent. for TNA, if he indeed makes the transition from TNA to WWE and WWE's not assisting them, as if the nail wasn't already in that coffin, here's another one. EC3 debuts on Evolve. Galloway and EC3 lay waste to most of Evolve's face roster,
including Johnny Gargano.
Right, who is an NXT signed talent.
Thank you.
And then they cut a shoot promo, basically, work shoot, I'd say, where they're basically running down TNA, running down WWE. I mean, it's the classic "we're taking over" kind of crap. But the bigger picture here is, did WWE, did they either pull a coup and sign both of these guys? With McIntyre, in my opinion, is a great signing, and so is EC3, but they should have never let go of Galloway. I guess we should stick to one name to keep it from being confusing.
Thank you.
But the question here is, if TNA has lost these two guys, man, how do you replace that? Because Damian Sandow can't fill both.
Oh, I don't think you could once you lose EC3. I think you could lose Galloway, but I mean EC3 to me is the face of your company right there.
Yep.
And that would sting so bad.
And now, conversely, if WWE is in fact, if the rumor is true, and right now it's only a rumor, but signs would seriously point to perhaps they've got a hand in this. If WWE is throwing money to TNA, which wouldn't be the first time they've done this, that could be a huge benefit for Dixie Carter and her company.
Well,
how do you say?
To me, though, if they're going to throw money, they have to get rid of Dixie Carter and put their own person in there.
Well, it wasn't long after Heyman started running into issues in '98 that Vince started helping throw money to them to keep them moving and to keep them from also going under from WCW's thumb.
Difference.
There was a history with Heyman, wasn't there?
Yes. There's a huge difference on that, Stan.
Well, let's hear it.
Number one, Extreme Championship Wrestling was heralded by many inside and outside of the business because of the fact that they had an innovative style that was counterculture and very, very, very important into bringing new faces into light. TNA has done nothing more over the last few years, with the exception of EC3 and a couple of others, than regenerate and recirculate and regurgitate WWE releases. Big difference.
I'll give you that. I understand that clearly. That makes good sense. Is there a saving grace for TNA at this point? Yeah. I don't think re-signing Eli Drake gets the job done.
Getting people to watch it and quit bitching about it?
Well, I mean, and we've all agreed that match-wise, TNA's product isn't what... That's not the problem. The in-ring work has never been the problem for TNA. Now, some of the results sometimes make you scratch your head, but it's every wrestling company. I mean, I don't think there's really any difference there. But... when PWI stops calling your title a world title, when Worked magazines start shutting you down, I mean, to me, that's writing is on the wall.
And how many networks have you been on? When you don't survive on Destination America, which they were heralded as the flagship show on that network.
Right.
And I mean, I don't know who got rid of who, but it would seem to say that Destination America got rid of them. But now you're on Pop, which is, who knows?
One of the few networks that are available through over-the-air.
And I agree. I mean, it's like, to me, when I watch TNA, and yes, I have watched it, but... One, it's suffering from what WWE did during the Monday Night Wars at the beginning. It's taped. Mm-hmm. And it's even worse than that because it's taped months in advance. So in this day and time with internet and social media, you can't have a show, a competitive wrestling product like that, and go head-to-head, or try to anyway, be on the same level as the WWE when you're one, not live, and two, your production value.
Right.
You know, I mean, I will say that when they went to Destination America and they got rid of the really, really badly produced backstage vignettes, and then when they got rid of Taz and the guy looking like they're sitting in a hotel room looking at TV when they were doing the play-by-play, you know, it's just I just think that the production value is the biggest thing behind it.
Now, Brian, you've always been a pretty avid supporter of TNA. I mean, you definitely have pointed out their issues, like most fans do, like most intelligent people would. But from your perspective, what do you see as, do they have an opportunity here?
Well, the problem here is, I'll have to take a little shot at Rob here. They have tried to compete with the WWE, but I think now they're kind of realizing we can't, so we're just going to settle for second or third. And also, some of those changes were done for the TV network. When they switched over, they changed formats because there were people at the network that thought they knew better. That's why you had some of that stuff. And if you notice, as soon as they switched to the other network, they went back to the old format where they got the two announcers and put them down at ringside again, and they're not in that little hotel room or whatever. And to me, it's the network that had their hands in some of that crap in the last few months. And I don't really think that TNA should be punished for having to go into bed with a network.
I agree. I mean, Spike TV did them no favors. There was no promotion on their end to help them. They didn't assist them with growing their product. They certainly didn't advertise. Destination America, when they first signed on with them, gave them, in my opinion, and I would agree with Rob, gave them a good opportunity to not necessarily reinvent the wheel, but kind of do a reset and come back strong. And it was not very long into their contract with Destination America that these emails start just mysteriously showing up online, where they're memos from Destination America to their staff advising that they're going to be disintegrating or dissolving their contract with TNA before it truly was supposed to be up. So, I mean, now moving to Pop TV, which actually, Eddie, thanks for pointing that out, actually has bigger home penetration than Destination America. It actually has a larger audience availability. So they have that opportunity there to... Now, see, why you got to take it there, Eddie? Distracting me.
We can't talk anyway, Eddie. Good Lord.
I know, I'm tongue-tied. Damn it. It's... blah, 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 blah. Bill Cosby's helping me out here.
No, you don't.
No, I don't want that medication. Get away from me. But the point remains that TNA had an opportunity here to rebound very strongly with Destination America, and Destination America was decidedly against it. I think they did it, and then they had second thoughts, maybe buyer's remorse, whatever the case may be. And now in Pop TV, they have to have some assistance there.
Well,
go ahead.
The other thing about the Destination America, look what they put on right after.
Right. I mean, Ring of Honor.
So, yeah. if you got, a half-butt product in TNA, and then you're watching a far superior product, and you can't pull ratings because, it just doesn't have it in them, then, to me, that's no wonder they got rid of them. I would have flipped it, and I would have put Ring of Honor on first, and then put TNA on.
That's true. I mean, it was, I think, for the people in the back for TNA, they had to have been, in my opinion, they had to have been shocked when Ring of Honor was signed on to air directly after them. Plus, I mean, you never saw, back in the day, you never saw, like, NWA air after Superstars. At least not on the same network. It was on a different station. You had to have cable to have both of them even available to you. Nowadays, it's really not unheard of to have them available at least within the same few channels. Who can forget, like, WCW and WWE during the Monday Night War, just flicking between TNT and USA to catch up on who's doing what. Now, I mean, every single day of the week we have an opportunity to watch a different wrestling program.
Well, I mean, I think it just boils down to now the same thing that was the demise of ECW. You know, when Paul Heyman was not able to pay his talent, eventually your talent is going to do what?
They're going to leave. You're right. You're right.
The ones who can leave and go be successful somewhere else will leave and go be successful somewhere else. The ones who either can't or have already been to the mountaintop and aren't going back, or you do have those people that are just brand loyal. You know, they're going to stay with the product until the dying day.
Right.
But, you know, and I just think it's just, we'll see. I mean, we'll have this same discussion about TNA this time next year.
Right, whether they're on TV or internet TV. Maybe they're on Fight TV's app. You know,
maybe they're calling Eddie Boss.
You know what? That would at least the program would make sense, right, Eddie?
Probably not.
Okay, just checking. I try to give you a chance, buddy. So
when do I ever take the easy ones? Don't answer that.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that alone. So we transitioned from TNA, which is on television right now, to a regional feel. Talking
Local.
about what's wrong with regional, territorial, local.
What time is Ace coming on?
Ace will be here in a few moments. We're going to go ahead and take our first break of the evening, and that's where we're transitioning.
Oh,
Eddie's got stuff to do.
I know he's got a lot to do. I don't want to hold him up. So here's what we're going to do, folks. I'm excited. Tonight we have a guest joining us from Pro South, from Peach State. Gosh, Eddie, is there anywhere in the Southeast he hasn't worked?
he's been all over the place, and I'm happy for him. I have watched the progression of this young man, and it's been a very good progression.
Ace Haven, the last hero, as many know him, will be joining us in just a few moments. When he calls in, we're going to be talking about a social media post, a Facebook post that came in from a friend of the network, from one Rudy Gonzalez, posting just a question with an image of both Ace Haven and his upcoming opponent, or now past opponent, Johnny Swole. Now, my familiarity with Mr. Swole is very vague. I've only seen a couple of matches of his on YouTube. I have actually spent a good amount of time watching Ace Haven's work, especially in getting ready to have him on. The question is this. Now, for those of you familiar with Mr. Haven, pretty skinny guy, smaller guy, definitely a light heavyweight or cruiserweight. Mr. Swole, there's a definite size difference between the two. Now, from my vantage point, from just the view of the picture, and we'll get into this more in depth in a moment, there's a noticeable difference, and the question was, who would you book as light heavyweight or cruiserweight champion? So Mr. Haven was the object of a lot of question and comment, and I felt it best to have him have an opportunity tonight to address it, to talk about some of the challenges he's run into, and then some. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take our first break of the evening right now. When we come back, the last hero, Ace Haven, will be joining us to talk about the post, talk about some of the comments that he saw, and his thoughts on just maybe some of the fan reactions of what he's seen as far as this post and other things. So stick with us, folks, right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. We'll be right back. Corner to Corner, we'll be right back with you.
Hello again, everybody, and this is Stan Grubb for Corner to Corner Radio for the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Join us every Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with myself, Rob Hefner, and Brian Taylor, as we bring you our thoughts and feelings on the world of professional wrestling and everything in between. As my good friend Rob would say, from corner to corner and pillar to post, we bring it to you every week. We look forward to seeing you. Thanks again for listening to the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
The To Be Determined Show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Monroe, Fast Eddie Lane, as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Lane, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
What's going on? Welcome back to Corner to Corner Radio right here on BeyondRingside.com, Spreaker.com, TuneIn, Beyond Ringside on Google Play, all points in between. We are happy to be back and live on the air. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us this evening, the last hero himself, Ace Haven. Mr. Haven, what's going on, sir? How are you?
I'm great, guys. A little sore. I've had 4 matches in 3 days, so I'm a little beat up.
You're burning the midnight oil, sir.
Always.
So, Ace, I talked to you last night a little bit about some of the things I saw yesterday on social media. Before we went to break, we were talking about it just briefly. There was a post brought on there in reference to an upcoming matchup or a past matchup between you and one Johnny Swole. The question that was brought up in the post was very direct and succinct. It was, who would you book as your light heavyweight or cruiserweight champion? And the question itself, to me, seemed fair. What would your opinion be? But then the thoughts as they came through from both wrestler and wrestling fan alike started to bother me, and that was actually why I contacted Eddie and then spoke with you last night. The question of size being an issue in the regards of who you would book as a champion, from a wrestler point of view, how do you handle that?
Well, that's an issue that I've always dealt with. I've dealt with it for 8 years, and I'll probably continue to deal with it. And, it really strikes a nerve with me. It doesn't make me angry. It doesn't hurt my feelings or whatever people may think that it causes me. It doesn't cause me grief. It strikes a nerve with me because I feel like that's such a, I guess, dated mentality is the word to use there. It's such a dated mentality, and I've always fought it. I've always fought it because that's a let's please the wrestlers type mentality, and I don't really think that many fans. When I say that many fans, I mean I know there are, of course, like anything else, a niche, a slice that's what they're into, and that's fine. That's fine entirely, but I do not believe the majority of fans look at the body and go, okay, well, this is my favorite wrestler because he has the best abs. Or I think this guy's best because, he has awesome thick quads. I don't think the majority of fans look at wrestling in that light. Maybe they did 40 years ago. Maybe they did 30 years ago. But the business has changed and evolved in such a way now that a lot of the fans can actually appreciate the work that we do and the thought process that is put into having great matches, because it's so much more than having a great body. I mean, you can take a guy, and I know nothing of the guy that I was compared to in the post. I just want to get that out there. I have no idea anything about him. I really don't even know his name, so this is not directed at him. This is just a generalization. you can take someone with no cardio, no charisma, and no psychology at all, and you can give them $1 million body, and they're not going to do anything. Because if they have no charisma, if they have no psychology, they're not going to be able to connect with an audience. And if you can't connect with an audience, then you're not a professional wrestler. That's just cut and dry the fact of the matter. Because at the end of the day, not Matt Classic, not Kerry Silkin, nobody like that is really who we're looking to appease. At the end of the day, we're looking to appease the people who paid their ticket money to come see that event. And this goes into another rant, which I'm just gonna keep going with it, man. I'm just gonna diarrhea of the mouth and just go all the way through to the septic tank's empty on this one, because I have a lot to get off my chest about this. You know, if the ticket buyers are happy, then who are you to say it's wrong? Regardless of what it is, regardless if it's the 150-pound guy being the World Cruiserweight Champion, regardless if it's the I'm going to beat you with light tubes, regardless if it's a bunch of guys who aren't wearing gear, depending on how you want to define gear. It's a bunch of guys that aren't wearing spandex. It's a bunch of guys wearing shooter shoes and kick pads. It's a bunch of guys wearing sneakers. At the end of the day, if the audience that paid their hard-earned money to go see the event, besides whatever else they could have used it on, are happy, then it's not wrong. And I've always hated that mentality in wrestling of like, oh, well, guys that hit people with light tubes, they can't work. They may not can work. That's up for debate, because I know a lot of deathmatch guys that can turn right around and have a really good match, or a good wrestling match. But if there is a market of people out there to say, I will pay $15 to watch this guy do this, then it's not wrong. It's just not. That's not an opinion. That's a fact, because at the end of the day, that's what wrestling is. Wrestling is us and the audience. It doesn't matter what the boys in the back think, and it doesn't matter what the boys with keyboards think. As long as the people who are coming to pay the price of admission at the door are happy, you have done your job. That's how I feel about professional wrestling. I feel about that in the body argument. I feel about that in the gear versus street clothes argument. I feel that same way in the boots versus shooter shoes versus whatever other kind of footwear you want to wear. As long as the audience is happy, you're not wrong.
I mean, I agree with you in that regard. The concern here is, and I'm sure you've run into this, as you stated, in your 8 years, you've seen and heard it. I mean, let's get statistics here. How tall are you?
Well, I'm 5'11", and I usually have 2-inch lifts in my boots, so I'm about 6'1" when I'm actually in the ring. So
wow.
I'm 6'1". Okay. I'm 150 pounds. I'm a small guy. I'm lanky.
Okay, and as far as weight, if I had to guess, I would say about 195.
No, absolutely not. Like I said, it fluctuates. My weight does fluctuate, but I go anywhere from 145 to 160, depending on my diet at the moment. I'm a small guy. I'm the first person to admit that.
Right.
That's the comments, and I won't even name drop them or specify which one. The comments on the post bothered me zero. And the reasons that it did, the reasons that it didn't bother me is every one of those listed complaints or insults that people tried to throw at me are the same tired crap that I've already heard for years. And it's a testament, one, to the fact that no one that it was on that post has any kind of originality, because they looked at me and went with the obvious. Oh, he looks like a chick. Good observation. You know how many times I've heard that? Do you know how much it bothers me? Absolutely none. Absolutely none. You know, get creative. You know what? Go to YouTube. Go to my YouTube account, youtube.com/The Real Ace Haven. Look up my work. Cheap plug, by the way, in there. Look up my work, watch my matches, and then come back and critique my work. Because guess what? If you come back at me with critiques of my work, then that means you had to actually watch my work. To look at a picture of me and go, he sucks because I don't like his picture. What is that? That is asinine. That is ridiculous. You know, you would look at a picture of, for example, Kevin Steen and go, oh, that guy's going to be horrible. Look how out of shape he is. Watch his work.
I mean, it's a valuable point. I mean, I did do as much possible research as I could, and I let you know last night that I've really learned an awful lot about you from, of course, the interviews you've done here with the guys, but also through YouTube and just what you suggested. And so last night I'm going through, I was talking to you at the same point, and I had your matches playing. I mean, you've worked with a lot of very good quality talent. And to me, when you look at guys like Chase Owens, when you look at guys like Tyler Gage, you know, these are guys that you've gone toe-to-toe with and not let up. As a matter of fact, if anybody was breathing hard or running low on wind, it certainly wasn't you. So I think that the question of, can a person who is 145 to 160, 5'11 to 6'1", whatever the case may be there, can a person like that be, and this is strictly from a fan perspective, so I can understand if I don't say this right and it rubs you wrong, I apologize already. But I can understand the question of, would you book this guy as a champion in the regards of as a heavyweight? Okay, I'm with you there. I can see that. It makes kind of good sense to me. But at the same time, if you're talking specific to the weight class of light heavyweight or cruiserweight, I mean, there's nothing that says you can't do that. I mean, there's nothing that says you couldn't wrestle a heavyweight either. So, I mean, let's just keep that open. But my question here is, when you're in the ring with these guys that, not that you're not accomplished, but Chase Owens, 2-time NWA Junior Champ. That's a pretty big resume builder there in and of itself. And you certainly were no slouch when you were in the ring with him. Matter of fact, you held your own quite well. When you're in there and you're seeing these kinds of comments that come out, and some of the comments did come from wrestlers that I think subscribe to more of an old school feel. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But at the same point, my thought is, as long as you're able to go, as long as you can tell the story, have the fan in the front row to the back row, watch and believe what they're seeing with you, whether it is that you're taking a beating and selling it, or whether you're delivering in a high-paced type of offense. And I think that you're able to do so, and I've seen it, not just from the corner, the corner-to-corner, cheap plug there, drop kick that you do, but also some of the other moves that you have in the ring. My concern was more based off, here's this question of, and it's an old story that just seems to come back up all the time. It's almost like David versus Goliath. How many times in your career has a promoter come to you and said, I just don't get it?
It may honestly come as a shock to you, but I can't ever really recall having that issue.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had the issue with other workers in the sense of, I just don't get why we're doing this. And that's fine. And, like, when I'm in those situations, and like I said, again, if you assess my work, I don't insult your intelligence. I'm not out here power bombing people. 90% of what I do doesn't require me to lift anybody or pick up anybody. And I do that on purpose. I do that on purpose because I know I have a mirror. I'm not blind. I've looked at myself in the mirror, and I'm aware of how the general public probably feels about my image and what they think I can and can't do. The style that I wrestle is not the style that I want to wrestle. But I have to go with the style that makes sense for me to wrestle and not what I want to do. In the future, could that change? I hope so. I'm always working towards that. As you mentioned, my cardio, regardless of how you define fit or in shape, I may not be aesthetically pleasing to the eye with the fitness level that I have, but I consider myself in shape. I can hold my own. I can work at a pretty hard pace. For 15, 20 minutes easy. I can strain myself through another 15 and 20 if I have to. Without getting to the point of where I feel like my work gets sloppy due to being blown up. And I think that's important too, because you can have a guy who looks great, but if he's gassed 3 minutes in, what can he do? He's gonna, what can he do? He's dangerous at that point. And I think that's an important thing too. And like, I agree with you. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and there's really no wrong opinion. There's no right opinion. Like you said, as long as the crowd's entertained, and the people don't feel like, oh, well, I wasted my money going to see Ace Haven perform tonight, then I don't see the issue. That's the thing that's always kind of blown my mind is, so what if Eddie Lane doesn't like the way I wrestle?
Yeah, Eddie, way to go.
No, what does he do? What did he do? Did he book me? No. Did he buy a ticket to see me perform? No. Is he paying me? No.
But he's calling your match.
He is calling my match, and that could be a negative thing. But at the same time, if you don't fall into one of those three categories, then really, where does your opinion matter to me?
Okay, I've got to ask this question, and I'm just going to jump in for the fun of it.
Sure.
Have you watched any of the PWA DVDs or the GCW material that I've called your matches on?
Yes, well, mostly GCW because Shane gets me DVDs, but it's kind of sporadic, and I think that has to do with production. That's not necessarily on his end. But I do watch the GCW TVs as they come out.
Yeah.
And that's one of my highlights, personally, because usually I can recall my work pretty well. So I enjoy having that, the commentary over what's going on, because sometimes you guys cover up slip-ups that we make, and it's cool to hear how you guys have covered that up, and that, hopefully the audience member is not aware of what really happened. And I like hearing the commentary, but I'm personally, I enjoy wrestling. I enjoy wrestling, the art of doing it. I enjoy watching wrestling. And I don't know. I see it as a fan. I watch it as a fan. I'm able to watch my matches as, someone that's paying to watch my matches, and then I'm able to turn around and go, okay, what could I have done better here? So you have to watch it in both ways, and that's why I like watching it with the commentary, because I think it engrosses you more, and it takes you to like, okay, this is like TV, and I enjoy this.
Well, the reason why I asked, and this is something that I want everybody listening to get a grasp on, I have told Ace, and I'm brutally honest with Ace. He will sit on that telephone and tell you the truth. I don't sugarcoat too much, not behind the scenes. But the trick to the trade is, and here's the reality of the situation, I have not had a bad time or a hard time calling an Ace Haven match, because Ace is one of those in ring who makes it fun to be able to watch as well as call the action. Whether he's in singles, whether he's in tags, whether it's in a specialty match. I've never, there's your keyword. Yes, remember, he made a comment about covering some things up. Well, look, this is the human condition in play here. We're going to make mistakes. I make mistakes on commentary. Ace may make a mistake in the ring. I've seen 100 mistakes in the ring in the last 6 months. Not by Ace. I've seen 1 or 2 by him. I've seen some by other people. I've seen it on television and in person. But the fact of the matter is, when you can sit back and say, yes, Ace and I are friends. Ace and I are colleagues. But Ace also knows I don't pull punches. Just like I don't pull punches on radio. I am the grand diplomat, but by the same token, I would not tell you this part if it wasn't true. I have fun calling matches that Ace is a part of because he enjoys what he does, and it shows.
Now, Rob, you had a great observation there in our production chat here, and I was hoping that you would go ahead and bring that to light.
What? Oh, that the fact that it seems like there's more and more of the people in the new age that everybody wants to be the champ, everybody wants to be on top, everybody wants to be the fan favorite, but there's only a handful of people that will actually do the work to get on top. And sometimes the people who do the work to get on top get pushed down from those who have the connections, that know somebody, that, are the flash in the pan. We see it all the time on TV. We see it all the time everywhere. You got a guy who looks like the person that you think of a wrestler, but when they actually get in the ring, they suck. Or they're boring. We've seen it all the time. We've talked about it on this show. And don't worry, Ace. Eddie spends most of the time covering up our mess-ups, too. So, but, hey, and we are the king of the cheap pop. Here on Beyond Ringside Radio Family Networks.
Oh, well, there you go. I was going to say, for here, we may be the king. I think Mick Foley's got his beat. Now, Brian, you're an old-school fan, in my opinion. You have the most old-school frame of mind that I know of, which isn't bad. I typically look to you.
I think he's calling you old.
No. That's not my direction there. That's not what I was looking for.
Oh, no. He threw down the gauntlet.
Help me, Eddie. But where
Ace
do you
can go help you on this one.
Brian, you're killing me, Rob. Brian, where do you stand in this type of a conversation? What are your thoughts?
To me, it would just depend on what the booker who was booking the match was looking for, not somebody on the outside. That's just bored one day and got nothing to do but post some stupid question on Twitter or whatever just because he can. The past is full of people that are not of any great stature that can go out there and put on great matches. And, to me, size shouldn't determine whether you wear that belt or not. It's the asses you put in the seats. Sorry, Eddie.
I'm good. Ass is fine. Remember, hashtag #LDamnAss.
All right. That's my philosophy. To me, I grew up on champs that you wanted to go watch. And I don't care your size, your physique, your whatever. This. There have been plenty of people I've rooted for that y'all were like, why has this guy got a title? And it's because, to me, he's entertaining. In that regard, I'm a true fan. And to me, that's a stupid argument because, again, the guy in that picture, just like TV, pictures add pounds. And he may just be a well-physiqued guy that's no more than 210 pounds. But that doesn't mean that Ace couldn't stack up against him and give us a quality match.
And I think that's what really bothered me about the post was the nature of it was not... Initially, the nature of it was an honest question, and I think it's a fair question. But at the same point, as comments roll in, as people start taking, cheap shots, saying dumb stuff, and some of it, like I told you, Ace, I thought it was more like locker room talk, just people, throwing insults back and forth because they thought it was funny. But at the same time, when you start crossing that line from professional to personal and start making things uncomfortable, for me, as a fan that I've seen your work and I know the Ace Haven that's in the ring, I don't need to know the Ace Haven outside the ring. You know what I mean? I don't mean that as an insult, but the truth of the matter is, just like what's described here is, can you tell the story? Can you carry the match through? And can you deliver the finish that's asked of you? And I think that's ultimately what the goal is for every performer.
I agree 100%. And, to temporarily go back to the post, I agree with you in the sense that I don't believe the post was put online with malicious intent.
Right.
I don't think that that's the way it was, but I believe it was short-sighted in the sense that you put something on the internet. Of course people are going to get malicious with it.
Right.
You know, when you open something up to the public, you can no longer control what the direction of the intent is. And again, you know, just not to take anything away from anybody, because I do not know the guy that I was compared to or given the option against or whatever. I have no idea who he is. He could be great. He could be great. He could be awful. I have no idea. You know, maybe he's more deserving of the belt. Maybe he's not. I don't know. But I believe the question was posed to the wrong group of people. A bunch of random people on Facebook is not who that question should have been posed to. If this was an AIWF issue, then the question may have been better suited towards higher ups in the AIWF. You know, I didn't book the AIWF Cruiserweight title match. All I did was I was contacted. They said, hey, you know, we want you with Ray. We see Ray's already booked at Pro South on this day. Would you work with him here? So that's what I did. And I did what I was asked of. And I feel like it's one of those weird situations where I feel like I've been attacked for doing my job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, that's just so weird. It's so, I don't know, maybe it's because, as weird as it sounds, I haven't really encountered it a lot in wrestling, but, you know, I did exactly what was asked of me to the best of my abilities, and I've been attacked for it. And it just blows my mind. It really does. It really blows my mind because, you know, I'm not privy to why the decision was made the way it is. I was not in those talks. I was not in any of those conversations. So, you know, I have no insight to that. And, you know, that may be a good conversation to have with, you know, like I suggested to you last night with Matt Classic and, you know, a few type people. It may be a great conversation to have with them, but I have no idea. I have no idea. I will say that I enjoyed working with Ray Fury. From the work that he did at Pro South and the work that I've seen him do, I think Ray Fury was a great champion. And, you know, if I walked into any show and was told, hey, you know, we need you to work with Ray Fury, you know, that's awesome. I would love to work with Ray Fury any day, any time. I think he was a great champion. I think he's an incredible wrestler. And, you know, and he's not that much bigger than me. Just throwing that out there. You know, he was cruiserweight.
Cheap plug number 5.
Yeah, cheap plug number 5. He was been cruiserweight champion since January, and he's not that much bigger than me. And I do not recall this big of a stink being raised when Ray got the belt.
Well, and that's a good point that you raised here. We do need to head into our second break of the evening. Ace, we'd like to keep you on for another 10 minutes or so. Is that okay?
Sure.
Great. Folks, we're going to be right back. We're going to take our top-of-the-hour break. When we come back, we're going to just talk with Ace a little bit about his career in general, some of the things he's been doing lately, and we'll, of course, get you some information as to where you can contact Mr. Ace Haven for whatever your needs may be, whether it's fan feedback or if you're a promoter out there listening. Of course, we want to help our guests along. Not that he needs our help, but hey, every bit helps. We'll be right back here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network, right here on Corner to Corner. Stick with us, folks. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back to Corner Radio right here on Beyond Ringside Pro Wrestling Radio.net. We are still joined by the one and only, the last hero himself, Ace Haven, having a good conversation about how does size relate to when you're booked as a cruiserweight, light heavyweight, whatever the case may be. But at the same point, we're just getting to know Mr. Haven as far as some of his comic book fan. You know, apparently he's a big Superman fanatic. I mean Batman fan, I'm sorry. I mixed that up. Sorry,
Don't
Ace.
get shot.
Ace, you've been doing this for 8 years now. and you have run into, fans that were outspoken. You have run into, as you stated, wrestlers that ask the question of, I'm not sure, but we'll do it. Through your career, can you name some opponents that you didn't really expect to really be able to tear the roof down or tear the roof off, but you were able to do it?
Well, I feel a lot of my best work is with the size mismatch. I've had some really, really good matches with Big Toom. I've had some what I feel like has been really, really, really good work with Logan Creed as a tag team. I just recently had a trios match with Shane Daniels and Brad Cash and Jason Mack, and I felt like we really clicked. And I just think it's one of those things that I can work really well with big guys who understand that we can tell a story here, that we can make this work, we can make it believable, and as long as we run it the right way, that we can bring the people with us too. And that's another big thing. Like I don't expect guys like that to come in and ping pong for me and buff mania everywhere for me. I don't expect that. I try to put a lot of psychology into everything I do, and I try to build to things with people like that. And I think honestly that size mismatch works really well with me and with the style that I like to wrestle.
Where's your goal in 5 years from now? Where do you want to be?
Well, everyone has that goal of wanting to make it somewhere. But you also have to be realistic with yourself and set realistic goals as well. And I've always done that. I've always set realistic goals for myself, and I feel like I've accomplished every goal that I've put in front of me. I had my match with Kyle Matthews at Chikara Deep Freeze in 2012, and I walked out of the ring through the curtain of that and said, my realistic goal is to be back. It's back at Chikara, be back with Chikara when they're on the road. And in 2014 I got to do that, and that felt like a mission accomplished for me. And I would like to see myself doing some stuff abroad and getting to tour. But more than anything else, I see myself in the future just getting to work with a wider variety of guys that are of at different levels, different sizes, different styles, different geographic regions, and just being a journeyman. That's really what I would like to do. I would just like to be that guy. I would like to be that guy. For example, I would like to be the Kyle Matthews. I look up to Kyle so much, and he's so good. He's so smooth in the ring, and he's one of those guys that you never hear anything negative about him. Again, another guy that's not much bigger than me. He's actually shorter than me. Chief one again there. I think that's 6 now. He's actually a little shorter than me. Pretty close in weight. But no one says a bad thing about Kyle. And he's so talented, and he deserves it. He's very humble, and that's the kind of guy that I would like to see myself as in the next few years. Is I would like to see myself as the next Kyle Matthews.
Now you mentioned that you're a father and you're a husband. I know that Amy goes to the ring with you, and I think that's awesome. How do your kids handle Daddy being a wrestler?
It's one of those things, just like my son. He's 2. He's just almost 2, and he loves it. Yeah, he loves it. He recognizes my music. He's cheerleading for me, and everything to him is a big deal. A punch in the face to him is I've seen him burst into tears over me getting punched, and my daughter kind of knows more of for what it really is. So, she enjoys it for what it is, and she gets that out of it. And it's cool. I take them on the road with me a lot, unless we get into these really long distance trips, and I don't torture them through that. But it's great, and they get to meet a lot of cool people, and they're both wrestling fans, so they love it. They love it.
Do they try to ever compare you to like John Cena or anything like that? They ever say, "Hey, Dad," when you're wrestling John Cena?
Well, yeah, I get that stuff all the time because I go and eat lunch with my little girl at her school every now and then, and when someone's like, "Oh, well, what do you do?" "Well, I'm a pro wrestler." They're like, "Oh, like John Cena?" I was like, "Well, kind of like John Cena, not exactly. My checks don't have that many zeros behind them, and I don't have this huge arena of 20,000 people being super excited to see me. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool when people have that kind of thought process with you, and like when you say what you do, they immediately compare you to John Cena, even though you're nowhere even in that league.
Now, where do you where is your preferred social media? You on Facebook more? You on Twitter? You on Instagram?
I'm on Facebook more than anything else. I do my Twitter every now and then, and sometimes I'm on that thing. I don't have an Instagram. My wife does. I don't even know how to work that thing. But I'm mostly on Facebook. That's my preferred way. That's the easiest way to find me, contact me, whatever it is that you want to try to do.
And you just recently went through, if I heard you correctly, 3 matches in the same night or in the same weekend? What was this?
No, I had 4 matches over the past 3 days.
Goodness gracious. How do you keep up with that kind of... First off, how do you keep your body in good enough shape to handle that? But also, how do you keep up with that kind of a brutal schedule?
Well, I have a really good chiropractor, for one.
That's a good plan.
Yeah, he sees me, once or twice a week and puts everything back where it's supposed to go. But and I don't keep that rough of a schedule. That was just kind of the way things fell this time. But I've never had trouble with that rough of a schedule before. When I was in my getting experience days, I was wrestling Wednesday through Sunday, and I've always adapted pretty well to the schedule, and I've got a pretty decent pain threshold when it comes to being sore and being beat up, and I don't know. I just a lot of the older school type guys are like, look, you gotta tone down what you're doing, or you're not gonna be able to walk in a few years. But I feel like I only have one gear. I don't have that mentality. If I can go out here and give you 70%, and you may go home happy, but I'm not going to, because I know that I shortchanged you, and I can't do that. I can't do that. Whether there's 15 people in the crowd or 1,500, or whether I'm getting paid this amount or if I'm getting paid 3 times that, I feel like I perform the same because I have that. I'm driven in the sense of that I might get away giving you less than 100%, and you'd be okay with it, but I won't be happy with that.
All right. Well, we're running low on time here. I want to make sure that we get all this information. Gun to your head. What is the greatest match you've ever seen?
Gun to my head, greatest match. I would say Michaels Taker 1 at Mania, or AJ Styles, Kyle O'Reilly.
Wow. You know what? You need to come back more often. Anytime you want to talk Shawn Michaels, the guys will tell you I'm good with that.
That's my idol. That's my number one guy.
Oh, dear Lord.
I constantly get flack from the guys about being a Shawn Michaels fan.
That's
okay.
why I have zebra in my gear. That is my... Because, if you look at a lot of Shawn stuff, he almost always had zebra print in his gear somewhere. And that's where my Shawn fandom came in, without putting broken hearts all over my crap.
See, Stan, he has zebra prints on his wrestling gear. Not his pants and not his underwear. His wrestling
Hey, I did that one time. I never
in
Walmart.
said I had zebra print underwear. I never said that.
Well, okay. See, he
That's for another show there.
that's for Corner to Corner After Dark. Well, Ace, hey, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really do appreciate it. Where are you going to be appearing next weekend?
Well, next weekend I'll have Pro South Wrestling in Piedmont, Alabama, 627 Southern Avenue.
Hey.
On Friday. Yeah, stole your line there. And then Saturday I'll be wrestling at another AIWF affiliate, TWE, in Chattanooga, Tennessee, defending my AIWF World Cruiserweight Championship against Jade Newman.
All right. Well, Ace, again, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time. You, sir, are always welcome back here, whether it's just to give us an update or to give us a rant. You let us know. We'll make time for you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. You have a good night, Ace. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, brother.
Woo woo!
All right. Well, guys, that was a great conversation with Ace Haven, Cruiserweight Champion for AIWF. I really am interested in seeing how this plays out as we go forward. Whether or not the post itself gets more conversation, whether or not it's more description or comparison. I enjoy a good discussion about these types of things. I think you guys do too. But when you have these kinds of questions, in my opinion, if you're going to put it in a public forum, be willing to have both sides. And, of course, Rudy, who did post it, is always welcome here, and he knows that. I told him that the other day. And I did ask him directly if what his thought process was around the post. His initial statement was, and sticks to it, by the way, that there was really no ill will meant by it, just a comment, a question as far as an honest opinion, and that's what he wanted to bring out there, and I think that was his goal, and I'm glad that we were able to have that discussion with Ace tonight and talk about his career, but also the description as to what he runs into over time.
Stan.
And, yes, sir.
May I please for 1 second?
No, you may not.
Okay, but
Go ahead.
I know Rudy Gonzalez. I've worked with Rudy Boy Gonzalez. I will sit back and say this, knowing the fact, and remember, we interviewed him in a previous incarnation back in season 7 of Dallas. Woke up and she was in the shower.
Just a dream, baby. Just a dream.
There you go. And from that vantage point, we both know that Rudy can do some very smart-assed things, and sometimes you have to drop the word smart out of the sentence. I don't have a personal problem with Rudy Gonzalez. I do have a problem with the post. It's like, okay, there's a huge difference between asking the question and posting the pictures. Would you rather have... Okay, and I don't know this kid either. I saw him on Facebook, and he's like, you came out... Here's my problem. I know kayfabe's on life support, but I will protect this business till my death. Why? Because I respect this effing business. And when this kid comes out on Rudy's post under his real name and goes, Rudy, it's me. Kid, get a clue. Rule number 1 in Fight Club, we don't talk about Fight Club. Rule number 1, if you want to prove that you respect pro wrestling, show that you respect pro wrestling. You could have sent Rudy a message saying, hey, dude, it's me. It's like, really? You had to go that route? Okay, I have my personal page. I have my professional page. I am one and the same wherever I go, whatever I do. But the fact of the matter stands, Rudy was being an ass when he posted that picture. I got no problem saying that. I have no personal issue with Rudy. I got a problem with the post. And the fact of the matter is, and I will say this very clearly, I know about when that picture was taken. And in the meantime, the young lady on the right-hand side of the picture, Amy, has had a child. And the person on the left-hand side of the picture, Ace, has had a cheeseburger or a bacon cheeseburger since then. I said that in production chat earlier, and I'll say the same thing. I know Ace is listening right now, so of course you know he's probably sitting back with a mute button going, I'm going to kill him, I'm going to kill him, I'm going to kill him, I'm going to kill him. But the thing about it is, and this is my problem, it's not a Burger King versus McDonald's thing. That's an opinion poll. It's not Coke versus Pepsi. It's asking a simple question and putting a snide, warped spin on it that to me is not conducive to positive conversation in the realm of professional wrestling. Rudy, dude, I love you to death. You know better than that crap, plain and simple. Stan, guys?
I mean, in fairness, and I asked Eddie about it first off, and then I asked Rudy directly. One, because as a wrestling fan, you're not trying to step on toes. You're not trying to rock the boat necessarily. But if something comes up and you have questions, I believe that there's no harm in asking. So first thing I did was I called Eddie and I talked to him about it. And then I talked to Rudy directly through Facebook and just asked him his thoughts on where the post came from. Now, I will say this. As much as I did research to make sure I was familiar and up to speed on Mr. Ace Haven's work, I also did the research and the work to watch a little bit of Mr. Johnny Swole. And I tell you, there's a distinct difference. Now, it doesn't mean he's bad or good, but there's a distinct difference between the two guys. If they ever mix it up and that's how this rolls out, so be it. But I think I'm pretty familiar with where he was working, and if it's any indication of what he's expecting of himself, he's going to need to find himself another location, him being Johnny Swole. At the same time, I think there's a lot of validity to the statement that, hey, if you're a member of the AIWF, and I believe Rudy is, and you have concerns or questions in reference to how so-and-so is being booked or what he's being asked to do or not do, perhaps the question should go to Matt Classic, the gentleman that's in charge. Now, I don't know Matt Classic from Adam, to be honest with you. I've had a couple conversations with him on Facebook way back in the day, and I have reached out to him recently in an effort just to let him know, hey, you're welcome to come on and talk about AIWF, but also this post in general. And I'm certain we'll get an opportunity to talk with him more about it. But I can understand if you're asking a question, not necessarily sticking up for Rudy, but just kind of putting it out there. I can understand asking the question, but I do understand the comment of, hey, listen, this is public forum you're putting it out here for. This isn't necessarily the best possible usage of your public forum, especially a guy like Rudy who does have exposure to a good amount of people, wrestlers and otherwise. Is he wrong to ask the question? I don't know. I think that's a question for a different day. Everybody has their own opinion individually. Is it something that's worth talking about? Yeah, I think so. And I think it's a good conversation to have in the proper frame of reference or in the proper context. And I think that's what we did this evening. And that was the goal. That's the goal. Anytime you have a conversation like that, you want to make sure that you're addressing the actual root cause instead of all the other nonsense that kind of gets filtered through it. Well, listen, we're coming up on the last break of the evening. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about Ryback in a blog post, yet another public forum for social media. Boy, some of these guys just don't know what they're doing, and some of them aren't helping themselves at all. I got to say, it was disappointing to read it, and we'll talk more about it in just a couple minutes right here on Corner to Corner on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
Welcome back, everybody, to Corner to Corner. We just wrapped up an interview with the one and only Ace Haven, the last hero. Make sure you check him out at your next opportunity. We're live on Corner to Corner Wrestling, Corner to Corner Radio on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network, ProWrestlingRadio.net, and all points in between. Hey, when we talk about social media, you talk about guys voicing their opinions, their concerns overall in public forum. You talk about a guy like Ryback, who just recently, this past Monday night, news broke that Ryback was sent home from the Raw taping because of a contract dispute. Now, in his being sent home, he decides to post a blog about his concerns with being a WWE superstar and talks about what he's looking for in his next contract negotiation. One of the things he mentions is he wants to be paid the same as main event talent. Also mentions that he doesn't understand why in a business that is worked, that people don't make more money in reference to whether they're winning or losing. Now, it seems to me like for a guy like Ryback, this is sour grapes. There's a guy that's unhappy with his current contract, feels that he is deserving of something more than what he's already gotten, and hoping to be the main star. As a matter of fact, there was a point where Ryback said that he could do what John Cena does.
No.
Yeah, exactly. I don't necessarily believe that that's a thing, but here we are. We're looking at Ryback now going and posting a blog, unhappy with his negotiations. Rob, did you get a chance to at least see the gist of his blog post?
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned that, that some people say it's about a bus, that was solved long ago, and he's going home to take a break until he and Vince can come up with an agreement. We talk on this show a lot about the state of the wrestling business, the state of the big companies, as we say, and truthfully, I don't think we're in a day and time where it's going to be you and Vince coming up to an agreement. It's going to be, do you want to be on in the WWE family, or do you want to be booking your own stuff? That's my opinion. I mean, I think in this day and time, when you're unhappy and then you go to social media about it, when has that ever, in any line of work, ever worked out?
Brian, your thoughts from the big guy's blog post?
I thought it was very moronic. But again, I said it before. I think one of the biggest things is that stupid weight belt he had, where it said pre-showstopper. Unless this is some type of work, that's probably not going to play in your favor, and I'll lay money it was probably never cleared by anybody, because in some respect, you can take a shot at Shawn Michaels, and then you're taking a shot at your place on the card. I'll lay money it wasn't cleared, and they called him on it and sent him home.
Now, is losing a guy like Ryback, and I think we all have the same answer, but I'll ask the question, is losing a guy like Ryback that big of a dent in the roster at this point?
No. I think when, the WWE has yes, a lot of their main guys are hurt, but are they deep in certain spots of their roster? And are they deep right now at the Intercontinental level of roster? I think they are, but granted, Monday night's Battle Royal didn't show it, but I think they are, but we'll see.
I think with a guy like Ryback, you're looking at he had potential in his feud with John Cena and CM Punk when he was chasing the title. It was, to his credit, he was over. He was not necessarily going to last long in that role, in my opinion, but he was there, and he had an opportunity. He kind of blew it, though. Whether you want to say it was chalked up due to injury or due to attitude, I think he blew it. I think he set himself up for failure, never mind the fact that it's been acknowledged by both Ryback and CM Punk that he had hurt him on multiple occasions. That didn't work well in his favor. Then coming out at Payback, doing the it's clobbering time motion, which we talked about this off the air for a moment, is really poking the bear that WWE has attempted to avoid. And that just isn't... If you're already in the quote-unquote doghouse with WWE, why on earth would you want to go out there and seemingly seal your fate? Unless you're just truly that unhappy and you want them to release it.
Yeah, I mean, and it could be that. It could be that. I mean, I truly think that when he started talking, and this is no shot about it, not trying to be mean, but it's just when his character started talking more than feed me more, to me, he came across cocky. And to me, it was cocky, but then you can't back it up with what you can do in the ring.
I mean, the other thing I noticed in his blog post was here's a guy keeping track of his record of wins and losses on pay-per-view. I don't know any successful talent that does this. Mentions he's 12-26 on pay-per-view. If you don't care about wins and losses and you're not upset about losing a match, why would you point out your win and loss record?
Okay, does that not remind you of anybody that you ever worked with? That when the boss comes in and says, hey, I need you to do this, and that person brings out the thing, well, you've asked me to do that 6 times before, and then, but you haven't asked so-and-so, and this person hasn't done it.
That's a valuable point. I mean, it seems like sour grapes. I mean, he's just not... Maybe he's not getting the money he feels he wants. Maybe he's not getting the position he wants. But he also has to remember and realize that there are guys that have been working in that company longer than him, harder than him, and better than him that haven't gotten the opportunity that he's asking for. So it seems to me like here's just yet another guy that doesn't know how to keep himself quiet.
I mean, they just cut Sandow, and Sandow was over bigger with the crowd that I think than Ryback was. Especially when he was doing the Mizdow thing, and then when he came out as Macho Mizdow, or Macho, I can't remember what it was, but it's just that thing. I mean, it's not a day and time for the talent that can be like, hey, I'm going to be big and bad and get out here on TV and talk about it.
Yeah, I think the day of a work shoot or even a shoot on live television is kind of past. I don't think we have that opportunity anymore that we had back in the day.
No, I mean, we're at a point where, we can see. I mean, how many times on these shows, these podcasts, and all this stuff, radio shows, wrestling radio, have we sat here and said the WWE should do this, the WWE should do that? Well, in the reality, the WWE is they could sit there and put up a graphic. They could put up an hour's worth of advertising for the WWE network, and we would still tune in. So it's just this day and time where that can happen. Go ahead, go on a media blast, social media blast about your boss. See how that works.
Especially when your boss is Vince McMahon of all people.
Who needs who more?
Oh, that's exactly right. I mean, Vince knows and Triple H knows that where one person leaves, you've got 10 more wanting to take that spot or the spot below it. So he's not gaining any ground in the eyes of upper management, I would think.
I mean, I got 3 letters for you. NXT. Mm-hmm. NXT is full of people that could be on that main roster. So, what do you think, Brian?
I think y'all are handling this conversation quite nicely.
Now, Brian, Rob, before we head off into the sunset for yet another week, Legends Fest coming up this August has just announced a huge list of guests, including the Total Package Lex Luger, the Enforcer Arn Anderson. I mean, guys, these 2 names alone, would you say that if we weren't already sold on this trip, it helped seal the deal?
I mean, Arn Anderson, yeah. I mean, Lex Luger, but I'm interested to see what's next. Who else?
It's a huge list of talents that has been confirmed for this, including Tony Schiavone, the king of "We Gotta Go."
And that'll be Tony's first one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's generally pretty busy calling baseball in the Atlanta area. He's been calling for the Gwinnett Braves, AAA affiliate of Atlanta. He's excited to be there. He's also for Tony Schiavone. This would be his first Legends Fest appearance, like Brian said. Hey, does Tony Schiavone get a mention ever for Hall of Fame? I'm guessing that's a no.
Oh, that'll put butts in seats.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, look at some of the other people that have been listed for this event. This is an awesome lineup here. Nigel McGuinness, Tom Pritchard, Hustler Rip Rogers, Les Thatcher. I'm pretty sure it'll be him this time. At least I'll recognize him. Lex Luger, of course. Brutus
No, you won't.
Beefcake. You're right, probably. Coco Beware, The Powers of Pain. That's Warlord and Barbarian. Bunkhouse Buck and Colonel Robert Parker. And a representative from Glow, Hollywood Gene Bassone, will be in attendance.
I want Little Egypt.
You and me both.
I want Tina and Ashley. Damn.
I mean, if they all want to come out, I'm cool with that.
Hey, Rob, Brian, notice how quickly Stan was able to use the phrase "come out"?
Yeah. It's a new day, Stan. You don't have to be ashamed anymore.
Wow. And it just went there. Dang, everybody drink.
Oh, hush it.
Blueberry Smirnoff.
I mean, I think Legends Fest is going to be awesome. I'm personally excited about the Jim Cornette experience. I'm excited to listen to what he's got to say. And the fact that, it's just going to be a good time. It's going to be a great wrestling weekend with legends around, and who knows who might just show up on Corner to Corner.
Hey, that's a great point. Hey, did you guys happen to catch, speaking of some of the guests on this Legends Fest and possibly Corner to Corner, did you guys happen to catch on WWE Network the Table for Three with Tully Blanchard, Ric Flair, and Arn Anderson?
Too short.
What a crap fest.
Now, Brian, I wanted to ask you about that. Why didn't you like it? You're in the production chat. You made a mention of it. What was your issue with it?
Other than each of them kissing each other's ass, they didn't talk about nothing. They didn't discuss anything. There was nothing about the run of the original Horsemen or the entire run of the Horsemen. It was like, oh yeah, remember, yeah, we got in an argument and yeah, we love each other now. And then there's Flair just laughing, ha ha ha. It was nothing. It was nothing like the other ones. I thought it was crap. I think they should do it again.
It would be really cool to see a roundtable discussion with them. Rob, what did you think of that show?
I have not yet caught it. I was getting ready to watch it when Brian posted on there that he didn't like it. So I was like, oh.
Listen, I'm a Horseman fan since the beginning.
Ditto.
And that was not what I was expecting. And again, it's a half an hour when the rest of them are an hour. And there's no mention of how it started. I think they mentioned that they would go to Vegas, fly out, go back to maybe once. And there's so many stories they could have told, should have told. It would have been a better show.
I think the Freebirds Hall of Fame acceptance speech is longer than that.
By a mile. I got the over.
I would have to agree. It was definitely longer, maybe more entertaining. It did feel like a kumbaya session between the three of them, that was for sure. And I wonder if perhaps with their concerns about how Ric Flair handles an open mic, I wonder if maybe they cut it short because of that.
I just think it was one of those things that they went in because they said, hey, we've got these three legends. It's the Horsemen. We're not going to really give them any talking points, and we're going to see where it goes. And it went...
Yeah, I'll give you that. Wow, it's... I don't even know how else to say it. We are coming up on the end of the show this evening. We know that Mr. Edward has a journey to make, and we're trying to help him get there.
let's
Batman
go ahead and wrap.
does it in the end.
I thought it was Superman. Oh, no, Brian said it was Dumbledore. Damn it, which is it?
Shazam.
Shazam! So, all right, Brian. This time you're ready. I believe in you, sir. Where can our fans catch up to you on social media?
No, it's your turn. Don't tell them.
Wait, but...
It's okay. I've got Mabo. You've got Brian. Roll.
Brian can be found on Twitter at STRCP21. Make sure you're throwing them tweets his way. Let's get his attention to the Twitter. Damn it. He's on Facebook at Brian Taylor as well. Rob, where can they find you?
They can find me anywhere. No, my Facebook page is The King of Everything. No, Rob Hefner on Facebook. Twitter, it's at Rob Hefner. Instagram, it's RDHUWP. And that's all.
And, of course, I can be found at Stan from Krypton on Twitter. Corner to Corner Radio can be found C2, that's the number 2, C Radio Show. Corner to Corner on Instagram, Corner to Corner Wrestling.com, and at, let's see here, Corner to Corner Radio at gmail.com for the email for fan mail, requests, comments, or bitches, or whatever you want to put out.
Send us some fan mail, send us some hashtag ideas.
And on rare occasions, Stan can be found down on the corner, pimping out his butt.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, they're going to
That's not so rare.
Time to drink.
Damn. And I'll be taking a sip for that because that hurt. My feelings are hurt.
Yeah, Stan is drinking for the hated man. Oh, sorry.
Swig of alcohol for the hated man.
He's getting some haterade.
So, folks, you can catch up with us next week, of course, right here on Beyond Ringside. We'll be happy to join you. Enjoy Civil War. Enjoy Monday night, where we could be seeing the brand split coming up even faster than we realize. We're looking forward to Extreme Rules. We'll break it down a little bit more next week. Eddie, take us out of here, sir.
Folks, keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com. And for me personally, Fast Eddie Lane, LAYNE.com, because people still can't find that Y in there. Why? It's in there. Or did you want me to do the sign-off?
Well, yeah, when I said take us out of here, it's kind of like when Picard says, number 1, make it so.
In other words, ladies and gentlemen, we're calling it a day at the Radio Ranch for Stan Grubb.
You know what? I love having good, deep conversations about social media. It always makes me smile.
Okay, for Rob.
It's always a pleasure when you get to watch the paint dry.
For Brian.
And here come the spoilers.
Fast
Stay
Eddie.
to the very end.
And for yours truly, the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Lane, we're going to be back live Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. For all of us here on the Beyond Ringside family of shows and everybody on Corner to Corner, have a great night, and we'll see you soon. Brian, I'm turning down the headset and the microphones. No. Now you can do the spoilers.
Two scenes after the credits.
Goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Shortcake.